Good morning, class 12. So, with this video, we are going to start another subtopic of the chapter changes and development in industrial society. Okay, so basically, here this chapter deals with industrial society and all the changes that has taken place. So, the topic that we are reading today is how do people find jobs. So, as you know, there is a lot of employment problem in India, and there are a lot of educated unemployed people. Okay, so a very small percentage of people get jobs through advertisement on newspapers. So in the textbook there are things which I have not mentioned here, so please go and read it. So there are a lot of advertisement that comes up in newspaper, and there are job fairs, okay, which takes place, and not many people get jobs through all of these activities or all of these schemes. Recruitment in factories takes place through middlemen or contractors. So there are middlemen, contractors, okay, who recruit people, and then this basically happens on the basis of caste system. So there is a kshatriya person who's working in a or a high caste person who's working in a factory, and that person has been given the responsibility to recruit or employ other people. So these people basically takes people from their own villages, from their own region, and belonging to their own caste, okay. So there are middlemen who hires people, and then there are budli workers who substitute regular workers who are on leave. So when a particular person, a permanent worker in a factory, goes for leave or goes for a vacation or anything, there are budli workers who substitute them, okay. So the budli workers work for the same company but are not given the same status. That is because they work only when certain individual of the factory or industry takes a leave. So employment opportunities have two components. First is job in an organization, that is working in a so in this service sector or in industries, and then there is self-employment. It is not possible for the government to give employment to each and every person, so we need more people who can create jobs, okay, and who can work, who can become self-employed and work. So government, there are many government initiatives that has been brought up in order to help to bring about self-employment and generation of employment by the people themselves, since it is very difficult to give jobs to the entire population. So there is Stand Up India scheme and Make in India scheme for self-employment and employment purpose. So in order to enhance people, in order to work on the skill of people, there are such initiatives taken by the government so that self-employment activities come about. So these schemes have played a positive role and are helpful for the marginalized sectors of the community. So these projects or these initiatives have played a positive role, which has helped basically the marginalized, the STs, SCs of the society and the country. So how is work carried out? In India, there are large industries to small to home based industries. We just do not have large industries, but there are small industries, okay, and then there are home based cottage industries in India. So the basic aim of the manager of the industry, is to control the workers and to get more work out of them by extending the working hours and by increasing the amount of work done in a day. So the role of the workers, the manager in an industry, is to maximize the production of work, okay, to make the workers work for extra hours, to make them reach a certain target in a particular point of time, okay. So all of that objective is to be met by the workers, but on the on the command of the manager. So the manager tells you have to work for this much hour and you have to produce this much goods. So this is the work of the manager. Frederick Taylor introduced a new system called scientific management, also called Taylorism or industrial engineering. So remember these words. So what happened here is work was broken down and divided among the workers. So there was division of labor, work was divided, and then each certain work was given to certain individuals. So the workers were timed with the help of stopwatch and had to fulfill a certain target each day. So there was stopwatch according to which the worker had to work, okay, they had to keep working until their target was fulfilled. And then there is assembly line and conveyor belt was introduced. So conveyor belt is basically that you have seen in factories, right? There is this long belt where products are kept and it goes smoothly, it just goes. And you have seen that in airport also, when they are checking, they keep their our luggages on that conveyor belt, and it goes to the other side. So that there was an introduction of conveyor belt where products were easily transported from one point of the factory to another, and there was assembly line where specific parts of commodities were assembled and it was passed from one workstation to another. Since I have mentioned that there was division of work, so suppose there is a production of shoe and one produces the lace, so the lace is assembled and it goes to another point, so that way. Okay, so the more mechanized society gets, the lesser the number of people are employed. Yeah, so the more the more new technology is being used, the more machines being used, the less people will be employed. But then people are expected to work at the pace of the machine. They have to be very fast. Okay, as there are a lot of technical help already. There is a lot of machines, industrial tools which helps them. So with the use of more machines, okay, less people are employed. So then in the service sector, okay, in large companies there are workers who are educated, they are motivated, and they are also creative. So the growth of IT sectors, okay, information technology and all these call centers, they have changed the opening hours of many sectors to be compatible with the opening hours of the IT sectors. So these IT sectors and these call centers, they have certain shifts. Okay, different people work in different shifts, and the many many sectors or many business in and around these areas where these sectors are located, they have changed their time in order to be compatible to the working hours of these ITs, like hotels, restaurant, medicine shops. All of these shops, they tend to open overnight in order to meet the needs, or in order to earn, like, more money, because IT sectors are open even up till late night or the entire night. So Harry Breverman has pointed out that the use of machinery leads to de-skilling of the workers. Yeah, because earlier, in when the society was traditional or pre-modern, at that point of time everything used to be done manually, and people created a lot of beautiful things only with the help of their hand and no tools, because they were very much skilled. But as the society advanced, all these machines are being used, hence people are being de-skilled, their skills are being reduced. So working conditions, the government has passed many laws with regard to the working conditions. As you know, in India the working conditions is very in many factories it's very poor. So there are a lot of laws passed off by the government in order to keep the working conditions in check, because working conditions, if they work in harsh conditions, the health of the worker will be deteriorated. So the Mines Act 1952 specifies the maximum number of hours a person can be made to work in a week, the need to pay overtime, and safety rules. So many such rules are introduced in different laws. So rules are mostly followed in large companies than in small companies. Yeah, so it's the large multinational companies, industries who follow such rules rather than small industries. Subcontracting is widespread. So subcontracting is basically the main contractor of the industry. They employ a particular person, okay, for a particular project only for that period of time. So that is subcontracting. And then they do not maintain proper register of subcontracting. So this person, that person, they do not maintain the register. Hence, if anything happens to that person, they do not have to take responsibility because they are not recorded. So workers in factories work in poor and threatening conditions. They tend to develop breathing problems and diseases like tuberculosis. So workers who work in factories and they work in mines, okay, they are exposed to very harsh conditions, which leads to problem in their health. They tend to have a lot of health problems, and then they have breathing problems and diseases like tuberculosis. And the rate of mining accidents in India is very high in comparison to other countries. So most of the factory workers are migrants. So the workers who work in the factories, they come from different rural areas, okay, and then they are paid less, they are exploited, they work in very poor, harsh conditions, and then their living condition is also very bad. Like about 10 to 12 workers, they live in small room, basically because their pay is less, and also because the housing is very expensive. So women are seen as submissive workers, or women are seen as subordinate, okay. And lastly, The shift from a traditional to a globalized economy has brought about a lot of changes. It has brought about positive as well as negative changes. Okay, socially it has brought about a lot of negative changes, and emotionally, and also like health wise, because people can tend to fall sick, and socially because there has been a change from a joint to a nuclear family, and many more. Okay, and marriage has been seen as a contract with the rise of modern society, but then again economically it has been advancing. Okay, so thank you, that's it for this video.